Welcome back. So I had a great meeting this week with one of my co-authors, Julie Dibbins, and we were chatting about favorite workouts, sets, progressions, and just different ideas getting ready to put the finishing touches on our cycling chapter. So today I want to talk about one section of that. We called it bounce workouts, and you can bounce based on cadence. You can bounce based on zone, and you can bounce based on domain. So I want to chat you through some ideas. You can try out some of these workouts and sets in your own training, and we're going to tell you what we like in the bike chapter in terms of specifics and specific progressions to give you ideas. So let's shrink me down and pull me over to the corner. So let's start in the green zone. And just to recap, you'll remember that for green zone training, I like you to hang around that LT1 point, that high zone 1 effort or lower. So don't be putting pressure on yourself to always be driving it up. But one of the things you can do in the green zone is you can bounce, and you can bounce up your effort and then come back down. Now, if you live in the flat, you'll need to do this intentionally. Or maybe the wind will do it to you sometimes. But most of us will have access to rollers where even though we're kind of riding this first threshold effort, we're going to be kind of going up and down, moving around within the green zone, and that's perfectly fine. So blocks of this, when you're lifting, it depends on the time of year, but you're probably going to be lifting anywhere from, say, 3 to 12 minutes, and then you're going to come back down into endurance. Now, Joe Friel would call these cruise intervals, but I've found as soon as you say the word interval to an athlete, they get fired up and think they need to go hard. That's not what this is about. This is just about a little lift and then coming back down within an endurance workout. And it just gives you a little variation, kind of breaks it up mentally for you. Now, the other thing you can bounce is you can bounce cadence. So you can stay on the same effort and you can move cadence higher and lower. Now, what does higher and lower mean? Well, it's in your context. So if you are a grinder, let's say, and your comfortable cadence is under 80, and in that case, your low, you might be comfortable, your range, you might drop it all the way to 60 to 65. And then your high is going to be 85 to 90. Likewise, if you're a spinner, your comfortable cadence is 90. Low for you, 75, and high might be over 100. Now, I've been working on my cadence for a long time, so my comfortable range is probably 65 to 95. And so what I would be doing for low is taking it down to 60, and for high, I'd be seeking to hold over 100 RPMs. Now, if you're not used to these higher cadences, when you lift the cadence, you're going to see your heart rate pop. And so what you'll need to do is back off a little bit on the effort because you don't want to create this big heart rate spike. And remember, you're going to need to change gears as well because the cadence is changing. So to hold the same effort, you'll need to move the gears a bit. And again, blocks of this, you can go anywhere from 4 to 15 minute blocks where you're doing these cadence changes. And if you start to feel fatigued in a neuromuscular sense, because you really have to engage your brain, particularly on the higher cadence stuff, just throw in 5 minutes or you just do whatever you want. Drop the power, let yourself reset, and then do another block. And what you'll find is maybe 2 blocks of this in the second half of the endurance workout will just give you something that you can work on while you're doing green zone training, because as you know, you're going to be doing a lot of green zone training. So you might as well work on something and improve something while you're doing it. So another way you can improve and another way to use the bounces is by combining the two things that I just talked about. Combining a cadence bounce with an intensity bounce. And what you could do is you do low cadence, higher effort. So again, this tempo effort here. So this is going to be like a zone 3, high zone 3 type effort with a low cadence. And then the recovery is going to be normal or high cadence, and it's going to be done green zone around that first lactate threshold point. And you can go back and forth, and you'll find 2 to 4 minute changes. So it'd be like a change up workout, work really well for you. Total session length, anywhere from 30 minutes up to, for an advanced athlete, 90 minutes of this type of work. But remember my tip from earlier, about every half hour or so, I want you just to ride 5 minutes easy. Give yourself a reset so you don't feel overwhelmed by the session. So we're going to be giving you specifics as well as progressions for how to target this in the bike chapter. But I wanted to share this just so you could try it out and also give you some ideas, because I think those cadence bounces are something that every athlete can benefit from. The reason being is we can find ourselves in strategic situations or tailwinds or long downhills in our events or our time trials, and having a choice of comfortable cadences can be really helpful to us. So we're not spun out in a situation, or if for whatever reason we get a little jammed up on a climb, our legs aren't completely dead because we've never trained this lower cadence ranges. So if you like stuff like this, we got a lot more heading your way. So just subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I'll see you at the races. Thanks for listening.